Q&A mailbag coming at you on the 49ers Report. I am Chase Sr. Hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at Chase_Senior and slide in my DMs. Hit me with a question concerning your 49ers. Let's get to some questions on today's live 49ers Report coming to you on YouTube. This one coming in from Slick Rick's Picks. Do you think Dee Ford is going to make the final 53-man roster? So Slick Rick, it all comes down to health. Dee Ford coming off a neck and back injury. And if he shows in training camp as well as the preseason that at 30 years old, he has gotten over those problematic injuries that have held him out of the lineup for the majority of 2 seasons, I do think that he can make this 53-man roster. The 49ers clearly already believe in him because they restructured his contract this past offseason. So they think to a certain degree he can still play if he stays healthy. But Slick Rick, that is the big question. Can Dee Ford stay healthy? When he's been able to stay on the field, at times throughout his NFL career, he's been one of the best pass rushers across the NFL. He is 30 years old, though. He's coming off neck and back injuries. And for a physical edge rusher, that is a big concern for me. The good thing is, I think the 49ers have a lot of depth on that defensive line. So if he shows that he's cooked and he hasn't come off those injuries and his career has succumbed to them, they can cut him, and there's not much of a financial ramification there. Let me ask you all this watching right now. Will Dee Ford make the final 53-man roster? On my 53-man roster projection that I put out yesterday, I said yes, he is. It all comes down to health, though. Type Y for yes, he's going to make it. Type N for no. Let's get to this question from Tommy Huxley. Is Kellow Witherspoon going to be good with the Sea Chickens? Yeah, it's funny. I mean, a lot of 49ers free agents the past couple of seasons have decided to go to the rival Seattle Seahawks. I think Ahkello Witherspoon is a really good player, and I do think that he's going to be a productive player. Health issues, a little bit of a concern, but I think he's going to be good. Can the 49ers get back at the Seahawks by bringing back Richard Sherman, a former Seahawk who obviously was rocking the red and gold? Possibly, but I do think Witherspoon is going to be solid. It's not a move, though, that is going to be the difference in like the 49ers winning the NFC West and not. And honestly, I'll take Deebo Samuel, Brandon Aiyuk, George Kittle matched up one-on-one against Witherspoon anyway. Moving forward with this question from Donnie Myers. Can we trade Dee Ford? Don't think he has any trade value at all. 30 years old, coming off the neck and back injuries, really hasn't played over the last 2 seasons. When a guy who's 30 years old is coming off serious injuries like that, he has no trade value. The one move that the 49ers can make, releasing him and going forward with another edge rusher, they're not going to trade him unless it's for like a 7th-round pick. Vihan Matal, what do you think will be the final NFC West standings? It's a good question. 49ers and Rams are tied in terms of odds to win the NFC West this year coming up in 2021. I'm going to go 49ers, first place. I have them winning 11 or 12 games. I'm going to go Seahawks second because they went 12-4 last year. They have Russell Wilson. Look, I mean, he's a generational quarterback. I still think the Rams with Matthew Stafford are dangerous, obviously. They could win 10 or 11 games. And then the Arizona Cardinals, who went, 8-8 last year? They took a big jump from 2019 to 2020, fully capable of taking yet another jump. This is a division that I think is clearly the best across the NFL, absolutely loaded. Right now, I have the 49ers winning it as long as they can stay healthy. D-Mick, 209er with a running back question. Trey Sermon, running back too? Fully capable. I mean, when you draft Trey Sermon in the 3rd round, you draft him with the expectation that at some point he's going to start. And that's why I put out those 49ers trade candidates and included Raheem Mostert and Wayne Gallman. I think if you keep one of the two, it'll probably be Wayne Gallman because you just signed him in NFL free agency. Also a little bit younger than a guy like Raheem Mostert, who's in his 7th season and is in his late 20s right now. But Trey Sermon could totally emerge as running back 2. But if they decide to trade away Raheem Mostert, maybe even Jeff Wilson, Trey Sermon could be running back 1 or 2. That's why you take him in the 3rd round. And if you look at what he did last year with Ohio State, he was really, really good. I like his dual threat ability. Injury issues, a little bit of a concern, But the prospects of Trey Sermon becoming a really good player, I like them. And let's also talk about this. Kyle Shanahan, every running back he has gotten his hands on, that running back has been a really, really productive player. That's just the offense that Kyle Shanahan runs. It lends itself to running backs being really, really successful. I think that's what's in store for Trey Sermon. Tristan McDaniel, what do you think about our defensive back group? They are all on the older side. Do you have any concerns about how our defensive back group is feeling, or are you feeling confident about them? I do like the 49ers defensive backs. That's why I included K'Wan Williams as a potential trade target, because he's 29 years old, and the 49ers just used draft capital to take Deommodore Lenoir as well as Ambry Thomas. So that's why I like what the 49ers did in the draft, because heading into the draft, I thought one of the biggest areas of need for the 49ers was the secondary. Not because they don't have talent. They do. Emmanuel Mosley, Jason Verrett, really good players. Jaquiski Tart, Jimmy Ward, really good players. But what they needed to do was combine those older players with the younger players that they drafted, and that's why I liked how they selected Ambry Thomas and Deommodore Lenoir. I'm pretty confident about the 49ers secondary right now. I'm the new guy here on the 49ers Report, so show me some love. I know the faithful balls hard. You guys go hard, and you always like to show your support. Do so right now by giving me a follow on Twitter and Instagram at Chase_Senior. The link for both social media profiles are in the comment section down below, or you can just pull up Twitter. You can pull up Instagram. I'm at Chase_Senior. Couple of facts about me. I once appeared on Designated Survivor. I once played for the Harlem Globetrotters. I love sports. Moved to Chat Sports in Dallas from Pennsylvania back at the end of February, and we're getting after it here on the 49ers Report, so give me a follow on Twitter and Instagram at Chase_Senior. Noah Pena, my guy, $10 for beers. Okay, $10 from Noah Pena. Oh, okay. Okay, so $10 for beers and then $30 for a shotgun. It's shotgun time. 49ers for life. Moneybags Pena, Mr. Bojangles in the house. No, I hope you're feeling better, because I did see you in the comments earlier saying that you weren't feeling too well. Sam Brown bringing some heat with the keys here. Was not expecting that. I was trying to read the comment, but hey, we're getting after it here. All right, I'm going to answer this question. Next question coming in from Tommy Huxley. Do you think we have a 1,000-yard receiver this season? Totally. Deebo Samuel, Brandon Aiyuk, fully capable of a 1,000-yard season. There's no doubt about that. Both of those guys are really good players. Both of those guys have shown flashes of being elite wide receivers, have not eclipsed 1,000 yards yet. But I do think that no matter who the quarterback is, Jimmy Garoppolo or Trey Lance, that either one of those guys could be a 1,000-yard receiver. And can we throw George Kittle into that conversation as well? I mean, George Kittle could be a 1,000-yard receiver coming up in 2021 as well. Has to stay healthy, got some physicality to his game, but my goodness, I mean, George Kittle is an absolute baller. He too could have 1,000 yards receiving as well. Can I shotgun this beer now? Yep. All right, let's get it. Yep. Let's see. There we go. Not even a mess. Hey, buddy. What's going on? CEO James Yoder has his son in the house. What's up, man? Can I get a fist bump? That's awesome. All right. So this is why you subscribe to the 49ers Report. I answer your questions live on the show, and I also do shotguns live on the show, thanks to Noah Pena's $30 super chat. I said $30 super chat, and I will shotgun a beer, so let's do so right now. We're going to grade it, too, and do some timing. All right, cool. Here we go. What's the time on that one? 3 flat. 3 flat on the shotgun. Boom. Noah Pena, thank you for the $30 super chat, making it happen live here on the 49ers Report. We talk 49ers football. We also drink beers as well. Grade that shotgun for me. Scale it for me from 1 to 10 in the comment section below. Was it pretty solid? 3 seconds flat is pretty damn good. Can anybody match that? I'm not sure. hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at Chase_senior and send me videos of your beer shotguns, as I let out some beer burps, and let me know what you got. All right, let's move forward. This question coming in from the RBBros. Which 49ers undrafted free agent do you think will make the most impact? Justin Hilliard, probably. I mean, that's a 5-star player out of Ohio State who was just like crushed by injuries throughout his Ohio State Buckeye career, but has special teams ability and is also a pretty good defender as well. So I think if he makes the 53-man roster, Justin Hilliard could make a big impact. Elijah Sullivan, also an intriguing name. I wanted to see what Austin Watkins was going to be able to do at wide receiver out of UAB, but I saw how he got straight up bodied by Deommodore Lenoir, and I'm like, he might not have the physical nature to play in the NFL, so I'll go forward with Justin Hilliard. Let's get to this question from Antonio Rosales. What are the chances Trey Lance beats out Jimmy G and starts week 1? Right now, I want to say that Jimmy G is going to be the starter week 1. And I think the chances of him doing that are pretty high. The only way that Jimmy G does not start opening week, is if Trey Lance just has a wonderful training camp as well as preseason. It's the only way I think he's going to unseat Jimmy Garoppolo right from the get-go. You look at what Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch have said, they have been adamant that Jimmy G is going to be their starter. And I do believe them. I also think it takes the pressure off of Trey Lance. There's no rush to put him on the field. And I think that's just a great situation to be in if you're the 49ers, John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, as well as Trey Lance. Next question coming in from Danny Archuleta. What are the chances we get Julio Jones? It could happen. I think it would take a 2nd or 3rd round pick. Julio Jones, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame for a long time. He's been one of the best wide receivers in the game. Average yards per game in the NFL, he's number 1 in NFL history at nearly 100. While injury and age concern me just a little bit, if you can give away a 2nd or 3rd round pick to the Atlanta Falcons for Julio Jones, I would pull the trigger on that deal. Let's get to this question from Meatsy Boy. Do you think Trey Lance can win us a Super Bowl? And do you think Trey Sermon can win the starting job with Mostert and Wilson already on the team? I do think at some point Trey Lance can win the Super Bowl. For him to do it as a rookie, that'd be really tough. Racking my brain, and I'm thinking back to when Ben Roethlisberger was a rookie quarterback out of Miami of Ohio for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's the only time I really remember a rookie quarterback having a realistic chance to win a Super Bowl. I believe the Pittsburgh Steelers that year made it to the AFC Championship game back in the early 2000s. I want to say that was the 2003 draft, so it's certainly possible. And this roster, no doubt, is talented enough. As for the Trey Sermon question, I do think he can win the starting job, and if he does, that's why I think Raheem, Mostert, or Wilson can get traded. I think this is our final question coming in. Nick Scott, which wide receiver will make the greatest impact? Look, I mean, Aiyuk and Samuel. Like, those are the two guys. Which wide receiver could make the biggest impact outside of those guys to really help the offense? Well, now that Kendrick Bourne has signed with the New England Patriots, the 49ers really need Jalen Hurd to step up and stay healthy. And if he does, he could be a good player. Another super chat coming in from Tommy Huxley. Can we add another wide receiver since we have $17 million in cap space right now? I'm not sure the figure of cap space is at $17 million. I can check on that really quickly. According to Over the Cap, it is. So that's obviously changed. And also what could affect that too is the release of Weston Richburg, which is inevitable. So with $17 million in cap space, you know what that allows the 49ers to do? It allows them to trade for Julio Jones. Also, though, think about this. You want to give a contract extension to Fred Warner, right? Maybe you decide to keep that cap space to bring back Fred rather than Julio Jones.